Okay, so my dad sent me in the mail a bunch of these, and I've been playing with them. They're quite large, actually. I think these particular ones would be suited for sheep wool because it's grabbier, and these are heavy. So I've been playing with them. Oops. And he was asking me, because I told him, I says, these are really good, but I would personally, just because I'm weird, I would like the whorl to be up there. So he made me some of these before, but these are top whorl. What do they call these? Hand spinners? Spindles. Yeah. And they spin because they're heavy. They spin for a long time. And my dad says, well, what if I made a bunch of those? Can you sell them? And I said I could. But I'm going to go see him in a little while. He's 78 years old. This one's wobbling because I started it weird. But they're balanced. They're much better than my version. That's for sure. But I noticed that they pull my alpaca out real nice. So tell me in the comments if this is something that you might be interested in. I think he's going to leave them unfinished. If it were me, I would rub some olive oil on it. But that's how I got my spinning wheel. My actual spinning wheel. I got it unfinished. So, but that's this big guy, and it's heavy. In comparison, this is why he did that. He says, well, hey, I'm stuck. I can't do anything, so let me make those. But this is the one I carry in the car. So, but I see these guys smaller than this for about $40 in our local yarn shop, and they're unfinished too. But this guy, it's hard to demonstrate what the difference is. This is much lighter because it is a pencil with tape on it and a little bit of hot glue and a piece of cardboard and a paper clip taped on. So, and it goes faster because it's smaller, but as you can see, it's stopped already. So if you're a beginner, a heavier one, not a cardboard one, is the better choice, but you can get it done. I made these guys up for a teaching thing, and I put about that much yarn on it to give them a little weight, but they had troubles. So, see, stopping already. So, that's the difference between a heavier and a light one. And also, those bigger ones, you can fit quite a bit more stuff on there. I've spun on these big ones all the way down to here and sticking out to here. And then I've got quite a bit of yarn to play with. These guys, when I get down to about that point and out to here, they kind of start wobbling a lot, and they get hard to spin because you've only got this much room left on the thing to spin it. So I get a rest ache when I do it like this. And I made two versions here. When I was playing around with things, I went to Walmart, got me some wooden dowels and some wooden things, and I think it's that balsa wood. It's really light. This one's got a little bit of weight to it because I put some beads on a string and then I hot glued them. I thought this will work, right? It gave me some weight. I did it on this one too. So this has the long string. You can still get quite a bit, but I'm done with this one. This comes off as a ball of yarn about that big, and I don't have the ruler out here. We will pull this out of here. These are my singles, and I make them this thin because I hate carding. So very, very thin, much thinner than that stuff you buy in the store. So there. And then I ply these back and make double ply so far. And this one was just fun. This thing weighs a ton. I couldn't spin alpaca on it, it kept falling down. It's not hollowed out. I said, Dad, this would work. if you hollow it out in the bottom, and then it'll be weighted on the outside, which makes it spin really fast and a long time. So, because alpaca needs a lot of spin. So, and then here's another one of my pencil ones. This is the first pencil one I made. This is my leader string. But it was, again, a pencil. I was in the truck, and I was like, I'm going to bring some wool, because I had to go somewhere and be stuck in the truck for a while. I said, I'm going to bring some wool, and we're going to stop at Michael's on the way, right? So this was a pack of pencils for $1 in the bin, in the clearance bin. And I had some electrical tape. And then this was a Christmas ornament. So this one wobbles like crazy. But it gets the job done. So, but if you put a leader string on it, then you don't ever have to start your string. I don't need that anymore, but I keep it on this one. So on your leader string, you have a little loop on the end. The middle one's always wonky. I do not card my alpaca because I get sore, and I hate carding. Carding is annoying. So I spin toward me, which would be counterclockwise. But that's how you do your leader string. See how this doesn't spin as long? Because it's light. And it's wobbly because it's kind of uncentered. But I still get it done. But it wobbles for a long time. I have put hot glue on top of it and made it a little heavier, and I put hot glue on here because I wanted some grippy. But the flip side of that is that you can't just pull the ball of yarn off. You have to wind it off. So, which, I don't know. Most of the time I wind it off anyway, so. But yeah, these light ones, they don't go for very long. Those heavy ones do, and they stay centered while they're doing it. But my dad says, can you sell those? And he was like, what if you went down to the yarn shop and sold them there? And I'm like, well, they're not going to pay you very much because they have their overhead. So I thought I might try to see if there was any interest for my dad's version and see what I might do. It'd be cool if I could paint pretty pictures on them. I do that, like flowers and things. Because the art thing is my thing. Let's see, that one's pretty heavy. This one's pretty light. That one's heavy. And let go. This is the one I think I like the best because it has a little smaller whirl. About the same weight as those wide ones. But he has a lathe, and I'm not very good at this part, the woodworking part. So, but he's clear over on the other side of the state. That's how I do my alpaca. Pro tip, wrap it around the hook twice. Why? Because sometimes it gets wobbly and it falls off and drops on the floor. So wrap it around twice. See, it starts wobbly, but then it evens out. That was the wobbly part with me. And then I stop it and I pull this piece of gunk off. There. See? That'll go for a long time. Until my string broke. Also on me. That's why. Because I didn't pay attention to what I was doing and see the end of it right there. It just twisted and twisted until it broke. So, tell me in the comments if that's a thing. Because these are pretty nifty little things. But he made me some of these before. And I like them a lot. I just couldn't find the ones. I was like, you know those things you made me? I couldn't find them. So he sent me a bunch in a box in the mail today. Are you going to stay the same? See, I'm not watching. But it goes for a long time. That's why I like that whirl up there. The farther up there it is, the less it does that. But, yeah. Pretty cool, huh? 78 years old, and he's like, I need something to do.